Hello! Oh, it's working. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever, wherever you are. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? I'm not muted. I know I'm not muted. Get it out the way. Come on, shout muted at me. How are we all doing? Lee Smith, good to see you here, Lee. Mark Central, Jorg Zed's dead, my learned friend. Richard Shears, hello, everyone. Peter, hello Peter, Bitter Blitter. Oh, you're all here tonight. Hollow Matrix, Controller Reese. Nice. So, as always, let me know if the mic is too hot, if the music's too loud, too quiet. It does seem like I'm peaking a little bit there. Just knock that down a bit. Bit better? Bit better, I think. Hello, Mike. Good to see you here again, Mike. Another month has passed. It's gone so quickly. I see a Monster Joy stickers at the top left, says Grant. Yes, it is, next to this side. Next to that picture from Mrs. Pillock. So how are we all doing? Be Christmas soon, says Bitter Blitter. Behave. Elmo's here. Elmo's here with his mask on. He is. It's a little bit big for him, but he's here. Now, is the music okay? I don't know that you can hear the music. Now you can. We've got to have that bit of ambient music to make this work. Okay, I think everything's set. Chris Dyson, thank you for subscribing, sir. So, it's good to see everyone. This is becoming a monthly thing. Well, it should well be, because it's a frequent, a regular stream that we do every month. Now the music is too loud, sorry. I'm just looking at the... There. How's that? How's that? Higher or lower? Higher or lower than a 9? Music is fine, says Jamie. Hello, Jamie, by the way. Hello, John Doe. Good, good, good. I won't touch that dial. Let me just explain to you what we do on this stream. We have a theme every month. This month, the theme is open world. So, you don't get anything for a pair there, Ian. So, I've got 10 videos sent in by the official Cave Dwellers of their suggestions, 90 seconds each, of open world games that they want to share with us. So we'll be looking at those. I've got another stack of boxes to unbox, and do you know what? After last month's unboxing, I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed, what is a hotspot not? I really enjoyed sharing that with you. We had that box with about 20 PCI cards that we went through. We've got some bigger boxes this week, this month even, and I've actually got the camera properly set up in the lab, so I'm not going to be sitting on the floor this month. So we can do that. Tech Cowboy, thank you for subscribing. We got some magazines to read. It's just a general chill out hangout. And I saw some of you were talking about the Formula One before we started, and is it over? What happened? Because I used to love Formula One, but I got a bit bored of it in recent years. Mike will talk about the records. Yeah, let's start with that actually. Let's start by just talking about, nothing happened. Talking about the month in RMC. Let me bring you over to my laptop. Oh, Mark. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mark. That's very kind of you. So let's take you over to my laptop. And let's take you over to the channel. The Brit one. Oh, Hamilton won, did he? I'm assuming that's who you mean by the Brit. So we just have a quick look at what happened on the main channel this month. We finished up the FPGA, I think that fell into last month, part 1. Then we did part 2 of the 800XL Trash to Treasure. Tim very kindly, regular viewer Tim very kindly sent in a break key, a missing break key. And it didn't fit, as we found in part 2, because there are so many different keyboard combinations for the Atari 800XL. But somebody else has sent me the correct key. And it's my goal this week, starting from tomorrow, to film and edit up that final chapter of that series, that Trash to Treasure, which is purely going to be gameplay and putting the break key on. So we'll finish the restoration, which will take 10 seconds, and then it's all going to be about what can this thing do, because I'm really impressed with it and I want to share it with you. We finished up the Mr. Desktop, which has inspired some of you to do exactly the same. And I've got some pictures, which I'll show you in a minute, of Woz's Mr. Build. He's taken it up a level again from what I've done, and I think you'll be impressed. Then I hope you all enjoyed the return of the retro road trip. We went to Estonia to get a little bit about their history of gaming. Now, 23,000 views, I'm really pleased with that, because that is not a clickbaity title. Estonia's Soviet and post-Soviet gaming history. That's one for the dedicated viewers who come week in, week out to see what I do. And I think for some of you, judging by the comments, it was quite a nice surprise. There were a lot of really positive comments from people who really enjoyed that. And it was a virtual road trip because of the current climate, and it was in Estonia. I couldn't go there, but it's encouraged me, even when the world is back to normal, to do more virtual retro road trips to get that kind of insight, because I really enjoyed that. So that was awesome. Then this time last week, we did the launch of the Hoffman vinyl record. It was a 3-hour live stream. I didn't quite know how it was going to go, because how do you launch a vinyl record in isolation? We managed to pull it off. And what was really nice was, I didn't realise this would go so well. I asked Hoffman to explain why he made each track on the vinyl, and then we played each track. But because each track was made for a demo, each track had a really nice piece of history that he could tell us about, the party he went to, making the demo, all sorts. It turned into a really nice stream. And I'm really pleased to say that we didn't sell all of the records on the stream. We sold all but about 60 we had left out of 250. And then within 4 days, maybe even 3 days, they all sold out. So they sold out, and this week has been, it's been exhausting. My job this week, I was going to make the Atari video this week. All I did was pack records and take them to the post office. It was a far bigger job than I expected. And it really has given me a kick up the backside for when I have to post all those books for the Kickstarter. So that was a hell of an eye-opener, but brilliant. Off the back of that, I can't promise anything, but I have made contact with a chap called Pete Cannon, who some of you may have heard of. He does jungle music using Optimed and old school hardware, and he's responded to me. I really hope that I can persuade him to come and do a rave in the cave and possibly a vinyl record off the back of that as well. But it'd be great to get him in here for a stream. And then we rounded it off. This video that I released 3 days ago, the cassette tape video. Oh, hello Riot Retro Gaming. You've been blocked. There you go, put the kettle on. I'll have a retro tea break with you. I'll come back to that in a second. 84,000 views in 3 days is insane. And you compare that to the Estonia video. That is a bit more. I didn't intend it to be clickbait. It just is a tape deck in your PC. It's going to pique people's interest seeing that, and it's had a huge number of views. And as Riot Retro Gaming just said in the chat, there's a timestamp which I think he's put in the comments. I don't know how this happens. I'm just mid-talking. I missed this in the edit, so it went out. A bubble comes out of my mouth and then kind of just sort of floats around the scene and drifts out of the picture. I think I'm developing some kind of superpower, Bubble Man. So I got to look out for that in future. No, I did just mention Woz's build. Check this out. This is amazing. So Woz managed to get hold of the same gateway monitor. Quite a few of us in the chat managed to get hold of that monitor. Brand new old stock gateway CRT monitor. It's got the same black Checkmate case, but you can see it's got a CD drive in there. He's got a floppy disk drive in there. It's got a beautiful keyboard. Love that. We got more pictures. There's that keyboard. Oh, you like the onions bit, yeah? And round the back, you'll notice he's got a few more ports than I have. He's got an SFX PSU instead of a mouse house. It's quite hard to see some of the details in black. He's got a lovely power switch over here. And one over here. Why has he got two power switches, you may be wondering? I haven't got a shot of the inside. I'll have to read out what he sent me in the notes here. So what you've got is you've got a Checkmate case with an Amiga 1200 in there and a Mister. Both powered off of the SFX PSU. They share the USB keyboard and mouse. hot swappable, even with the Amiga. They share a Bluetooth 8-bit Do or 8-bit Do controller using the Amiga to Mega Drive adapter. So whichever you're using, it's just that one controller there, wireless. And he's still got a few things to do, like to hook up the 3.5mm audio switcher, to the KVM. But basically what you've got there is genuine hardware Amiga 1200 and a Mister for FPGA. So you can just switch between the two. It's like the ultimate, what was the Amstrad one? Mega PC. So he's really taken that up a notch. Love it, absolutely love it. See, I've thought about putting some a Pi in mine and having a KVM to switch between the Mister and the Pi, but that's lovely. Was takes incredible photos, says Pillock. That could be an Atari and it would still look great. Say nothing, mate. So, I mean, Was had already started this build. Jake, who's in the chat there, hello Jake, he's done his, he'd already started his, and we saw a video of a clip of his in mine, and I sent him a switch to help him get the power switch working. So it's not like I was the first person to come up with this idea, but the video does seem to have inspired some people to finish the idea, finish the things that they'd started on. Just because I think they saw it in the video and thought, oh, I need mine to be working, and they went and finished it up, which was, it's always nice to feel like you've inspired people. Liking the shirt. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what you would call that, Namco's. An Amni Mister? A Mr. Amiga? I don't know. So that's this week on the channel. And I also just, let me bring you back to my face. I also just opened this. Thank you to Mark, by the way. This is the new flight simulator, the Premium Deluxe Boxed Edition. And some of you may have seen, I just very quickly filmed the unboxing of this. It is unboxed, even though I've left the seal on it. I've just taken the side bit off. And on this very channel, the second channel, you can watch it if you want to see what you get in this. I was hoping to actually stream while we were talking today, to have a remote desktop over to the other PC while all 10 DVDs of this installed. But my DVD drive won't read the DVDs. And we were having some chat in Discord about that as a big box compared to the old flight sims. And some people were saying in the chat they would be disappointed with this as a big box. But you have to remember, Microsoft Flight Sim, here's 98. It was never like a premium big box thing. Yes, it came in big boxes. But it was always a bit like, they always packed them a bit like it was Microsoft Word. You know, it came in a crappy bit of cardboard and it didn't really have thick manuals. So I didn't really expect any more than what we got. Certainly nothing like Falcon 4 over here and some of the other big box flight sims with their huge manuals. That just wasn't what MS Flight Sim was like. Is it arty that Neil's looking at the wrong camera? That's the camera. Just behind the camera is the chat window. So if I'm not making eye contact with you, it's because I'm reading your text there. Not trying to be arty. Jake says a lot of the Microsoft stuff was packaged like that. Yeah, it was. It was. And also, let me just grab these behind me. For Flight Simulator 98, is it 98? I know it's for an older Flight Simulator actually. Flight Simulator 5 this is for. I've got the Japan scenery pack. I've got the Hawaii scenery pack for more detail. You can also get the Caribbean, New York and Paris. I used to lust after these in the shops back in the day. And then later, Flight Simulator 2002, I've got the full set of these. This is the UK VFR photographic scenery. I bought all of these in a charity shop for 50p each. It would have cost you hundreds back in the day. Anyway, Microsoft Home, that's a brand that's lost to time. It certainly is. So should we have a look at your videos on the theme of open world? I guess my choice, aside from something I want to show you in a magazine later for open world, is going to be Flight Simulator. Because you don't get more open than the entire world to fly around, do you? Well, I guess you do. The universe in Elite. Neko wants to try Flight Sim again. Who's listening? Who am I listening to? I've got my mixing desk here. Who asked that? Simon. So I can hear the music and I can hear the videos, which I'm going to play to you. But yeah, I just need the Biggles hat to go with them, don't I? So, oh, I will tell you some other things that happened this month as well. This Week in Retro. Now, if you haven't seen this, I am the co-host on a new podcast called This Week in Retro. Trademark pending on the name, by the way. It's nearly through and complete. So I co-host this with John from the Amigos Retro Gaming podcast. And it's a roundup of the week's retro news. Comes out every Thursday, I think it's going to come out now. It was Wednesday, but we're going to do Thursday. A roundup of the week's news as submitted by you in our subreddit, so reddit.com/r/thisweekinretro. And the really nice thing is John is US based and I'm UK based. So we read a bit of news, so you're up to date on the news for the week. And then we just sort of share a bit of opinion. And sometimes it clashes. For example, when we were talking about the Atari VCS, yes, I understand the importance of the Atari VCS historically, but it wasn't a big thing in the UK. But for John, it was a massive thing. So we had a slight difference of opinion as to whether people would actually want to play on those old VCS games or not. On a 800 Australian dollars, it was about 350 US dollars, I think, on a machine that costs that much, you know. So it's quite nice to have that little bit of opinion piece buried in the podcast, and then it encourages your feedback as well. So if you haven't already, go to anchor.fm. Let's put this in the chat. I should have set up Nightbot to do this. Anchor.fm/This Week in Retro. There it is. And what you can do, if you scroll down here, you can listen on all of these things: Apple Podcast, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcasts, all of them, Spotify, or there's the RSS. So if you've got a second, go and subscribe and have a listen, and hopefully you'll enjoy that and you'll become a regular listener. I just played the start for you. You can get a feel for the flavour of it.
High-resolution color graphics.
This land of high technology. The revolution in technology that made the information age possible.
Those kids are not afraid of computers.
Welcome to This Week in Retro for the week of August 24th, 2020. Coming up on today's show,
Retro gaming comes to Netflix. That's me.
A new Neo Geo bar top.
Crash Magazine is back.
A new floppy drive emulator for your classic computer.
And the Dreamcast lives on 20 years later.
All this and more on This Week in Retro.
Up-to-date news
For out-of-date tech.
And then we go into the show. So you get a feel for what it's all about. Geronimo says, okay, you sold me. Excellent, excellent. Thanks for subscribing, Ben. And actually, something we mentioned on the intro there was High Score. Who out there has watched this new High Score series on Netflix? I almost sound like a pro, almost. Let's just play a little bit of this. Pixel, Ian's seen it. Richard's seen it. So I haven't seen it yet. I plan on watching it probably tonight. I just found this. I've seen the trailer. The trailer I wasn't really sold on, but I've just seen this other kind of trailer here, which is Ken and Roberta Williams from Sierra. You rarely see them give interviews, so I'm looking forward to seeing the episode with them in, talking about their first adventure games. Something I've noticed on some of the clips I've seen is, and some of the comments that I've seen from people is, The narrator on the series seems to be a bit grating. You hear these really great insights from people like Ken and Roberta Williams, and then it kind of gets dumbed down by the narrator. But I'm just speculating based on what I've seen on Twitter and the trailer. I just need to shut up until I've actually watched it, to be honest. Richard said he agrees. But this is on Netflix. This is, come on, let's be honest, it has to appeal to the mainstream. We're the hardcore, aren't we? So it has to appeal to the mainstream. You know, we're not really its audience. But if people watch it and filter through into our communities, then brilliant. Also, you get to see Richard Garriott dressed up in silly costumes, says Controller Reese. When isn't he dressed up in silly costumes? Every time a developer says Mega Drive, they put Genesis in the subtitles. Right, it's time for your videos. We're going to start with Dexter's Lab. We've got 10 videos on the subject of open world, and look at this. All of you have stayed within 90 seconds. Hang on, one of you hasn't. Tim has gone 3 seconds over. And Richard Shears has gone 8 seconds over. So next month, you have to deduct your 8 seconds, Richard. Hello, Mark. Mark fixes stuff. Good to see you here, mate. So, oh no, you're not supposed to see them in advance. Hide those. So here's Dexter's Lab. Let's kill the music. Let's try not to blow your ears off. I'll knock the volume up as we go.
Hello fellow dwellers, this is Dexter's Tech Lab checking in and my submission for RMC Live.
I think we know what this is. Any guesses in the chat? Next month Richard has to make it's 3 times more trippy. GTA 4, Foo Fly's got it, yes.
So Grand Theft Auto 4 is an awesome game which landed on our PCs back in 2008, and as you can see...
2008? I remember when I got it, my PC just would not run it at all, no chance whatsoever.
It looks awesome on max settings with a great story and great gameplay. Check it out if you've not played it. The purpose of this video is to explain the significance of this particular car, the Karin Futo.
Now, remember when I ask you to submit these videos, I've really frozen that at a bad time with that picture at the top right.
Why some of those devs at Rockstar were well into their
There we go. Although the theme is open world, you can make the video about whatever you want. Dexter's Lab has chosen to talk about this one car in particular from an open world game. And I have watched this video and he loses me very quickly, but I think some of you might know what he's talking about.
EDM car culture. When I played GTA 4 for the first time, I immediately recognised this car. It's a facsimile of the classic 1980s Toyota A86. In this case, a Toyota Levin, colloquially known as the Booter, because it's not the hatchback Torino version. The A86 made famous in real life by Kiichi Tsuchiya and the Japanese drifting scene culminating in the anime Initial D, where Takumi would drive his dad's AE86 to deliver fresh tofu to a local hotel over the mountain passes of Mount Akina.
Right, let's just take a moment to digest all of that. Is there anyone in the chat who can help us? So I think he's talking about the Japanese drifting scene, the connection to Initial D, which is, I've heard of that. That's a cartoon, isn't it? And the fact that this car was in that, I get lost pretty quickly.
You may now see the reference that Futo is. It's an anagram of tofu. Other telltale signs are the Watanabe wheels and the decals down the side, signifying this is based on the later episodes where Takumi gets his 20-valve blacktop engine. How cool is that?
How cool is that?
Thanks and bye from Liberty City.
Awesome. Well, I learned something. I may have to watch that a few more times to be sure that I've learned it, but it's cool that there is that attention to detail, isn't it? You know, a game of that age you can still learn so much from. next video is... Now, Amigos, Boat just sent in a clip from their show talking about the game they want to talk about. So it wasn't specifically made for this. It was just a 90-second clip. But we can talk about it.
Manta is the flying craft.
So you outfitted it.
Okay, I outfitted it, and I was like, okay, click on the thing, boom, boom. I launched the Manta. The Manta, like the flying nun, takes off and then immediately crashes into the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay? The reason why this happens is because there are two different fuel gauges on the screen. Okay?
Yes.
You've got sort of like your general fuel gauge, and then you've got your individual Manta fuel gauge.
That's right. And you have to put fuel in it.
You got to put fuel in the Manta.
Well, you were just killing me for not knowing what I was doing. I didn't do that.
Otherwise, you'll launch it. It will fly into the air for the briefest of seconds and then crash.
Now tell
into
them the
ocean.
other thing with the Manta that makes them hard to use.
Well, there's lots of things.
Well, the one thing that used to, if you go too far away, you're just,
it would just keep going.
It's just crashing. No, because the screen goes fuzzy and it just goes away.
So this is the Amigos from Amigos Retro Gaming. Talking about Carrier Command, of course. Now, I didn't play it on the ZX Spectrum. I had it on the Amiga. And I loved it. It was one of those games that took a little bit of work to get into and to understand what was going on. But when you did, it was a great sort of strategy game in 3D. It was kind of a mixture of flight sim and strategy game. I loved it. I haven't ever seen it on the ZX Spectrum. So it's great to see it running on a Spectrum. I mean, obviously it's wireframed and not filled polygons. But it works, I guess. Robo John says, absolutely Amiga. It was the best game since Elite. In one case, it's one case where the DOS version is better, says Blockulator. I'll have to try that one. Ben says, GTA 5 is the only game my partner plays. I bought him a PS3 just for that one game. Do you know what? Lily, I don't know if you're watching, Lily. Hello if you are. We went to see my friend Alex, and she doesn't play video games, really. I mean, the last game she was really into was Spyro on the PS1. And my friend had PS4, and it must have been GTA 4 on the PS4, I think. And she immediately grabbed it and just wanted to mow people down. I think for non-video game players, they immediately get it, they see it, they immediately see that it's an open world, and they can do absolutely anything they want. And they just want to do it. They want to get in a car. They want to try and mow people down and do stunts. Anyway, that was the last game. We're talking about Carrier Command here. Yeah, I thought it was a great game on the Amiga. And no, it's not Big Clive. That's Aaron. And that's Boat, or John, from Amigos, or R. Sinclair, which is their other podcast. And that is the John that does the podcast with me.
Here's the thing. You have an option to have these craft be automatically controlled.
Yeah, with the A.
Right.
Yeah.
You can click on the joystick icon to give you joystick controls.
Yeah.
Or actually, basically, it turns it into almost like a star glider.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the end of their video. He got to his 90 seconds and he killed it. So there you go. I am going to put a link in the chat, actually, just to the Amiga. In fact, Velociraptor Dave, would you be so kind as to put a link to the best link for the Amigos? And I would encourage everyone in the chat to just take a moment to subscribe, because I love them. I'm a patron to them. They're obviously a patron to me because they've submitted the video, and they deserve all the subscribers they can get. We'll just wait for that link from Dave. We're still listening to the music from the demo scene from last week's live stream. Kind of like it. Jamel was happy enough with the PS1 until that came out. There you go, everythingamiga.com. So if you click on that, that should take you through to their YouTube channel. Yeah. No, this isn't the Hoffman album, Nico. still don't know how to say your name properly. Naoki. There you go. James. My shirt is very... Oh, have I got the... Oh, it is, isn't it? The camera's struggling with the stripes down there. Naoki, thank you. Is that horse okay? Naoki. Next one. This is from Laurent. Hello, Gaz.
Hello, Cave Dwellers.
Hello.
Tomahawk was my first game for my Amstrad PC.
It's a flight sim and it's for the Amstrad. 100 points.
Which was also my first home computer, and I still own it. This is not a real manual, but only a flyer, so there is no need to count the pages. Here is also a flyer of the Apache chopper with the technical description, and on the other side is history, design and development. Let's fire up my old choice.
Oh, he's going to show us it on a PCW. Oh, the phosphor is warming up. Listen to the disc. This is what the PCW was made for.
The menus are in English, German or French. German is misspelled. There's an S missing in Deutsch. I chose English. Let's throttle up these two engines. The PCW has no sound chip, but only a beeper, so don't expect any sound effects or music here. We have enough engine speed to take off.
I'll give you some music.
A quick look at the map.
Oh, that music works. Just going to pause it there. One of the first flight sims I played on the PC was on a laptop that a friend lent me. It was a monochrome laptop. I think it was a 286. And it was LHX Attack Chopper. I played others on the Amiga, but it had a really limited screen like this. And the thing was, you could just kind of say, it's all right, I'm flying with night vision. You would make excuses, you would fill in the gaps to make it work. Yeah, limitations didn't hold us back.
I am shooting a Hellfire missile to the enemy. Back to the studio.
Oh, back to the studio. You did get a kill there at the end. Can we go back?
Hello, Cave.
Oh, hello again. No, I can't. I've lost... There we go.
Back to the studio.
There. There, he blew something up. Cuthbert32, hello, first time on the YouTube live stream. Yay, in fact, any YouTube live stream, fresh from an afternoon of stripping down my C64. Wonderful. Starglider 2 was all the flight sim anyone needed, said Russell. Yeah, you did need imagination. Reese says, I always thought the PCW was just a word processor. I've got, over in my football box, a football management simulation for the PCW. But, you know, you would kind of expect that because that was just a spreadsheet football management game. A full-on flight sim, pretty impressive. No, it's not Kevin Toms. Oh, it's Richard next. Okay, if you're new here, there's no way to introduce Richard. This is Richard.
Rich,
Oh, yes, Dave Almighty.
it's time to venture outside.
Please, no.
Yes, it's important that you go out into the open world.
Why?
I need to raise funds to purchase the Hoffman LP.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and Pillock has also run out of Scotch eggs.
Oh, it really is urgent then.
It is urgent if Pillock's run out of Scotch eggs.
Go now!
Richard goes outside. He braves the elements, soldiers on for many, many minutes, before finally coming across a cave.
Finally, treasure. Oh, an Amiga 2000. They're worth a bit.
Oh wow, an Atari 1200. Worth more than gold, baby. Ah, struck it really lucky now. Atari ST.
Hey, Richard, have you just created your own open world?
Oh, bugger. This one's worthless. Someone's nicked the MIDI ports.
Richard sets off to a tavern.
Somebody's nicked the MIDI ports. It's the only thing that gives an Atari any value.
To sell his hoard of treasures. During his dangerous travels, he is set upon by bandits. He takes an arrow to the knee,
Oh, I
but
get it.
manages to elude them. Finally, he seeks refuge in the tavern. And by good fortune, and the 90-second RMC clip limit, there is a trader within.
Well, hello, stranger. Looks like you've been out foraging.
I didn't find any nectar. I have these Amigas for sale.
Let's have a look. Not bad, but not mint.
Well, no, they're computers.
Well, I hope you didn't raid. Tell you what, I'll give you 200 gold for them.
But here, look, on Steel Bay. They go for a lot more than that.
Yeah, but that'd be for fools. Tell you what, 250 gold.
Go on, if you throw in a dozen Scotch eggs.
Why so many?
Oh, well, Pillock, he's run out.
Oh, you'd better take 12 dozen in that case. Deal, Pip.
I've got to go and see Pillock to drop off these eggs, and then I need to return to the cave and see Neil.
And then 90 seconds has run out. Oh, Richard, you never disappoint. We got Dave in there. We got Reese. We got Pillock. Who else did we get in there? We got the cave. We might have to watch that one again at the end of the show. Hope you enjoyed your Scotch eggs, Pillock. So yeah, that was Skyrim. I played Skyrim on my Xbox 360. It was probably the first RPG I played all the way through on a console, and I really quite enjoyed it. Yeah, you have to follow that. I really quite enjoyed it because I didn't once have to think about frame rates and graphics settings and what video card I had, which I know is copping out. That's why we buy PCs, because we like to tinker with all that stuff. But at that moment in time, to get immersed in a game like Skyrim, it was nice not to have to think about all that stuff, and it just worked. But I've been reading lately that Skyrim is still immensely playable with a ton of modern patches and updates, which make it look amazing. So I should probably go back and revisit it at some point. Foofly says, oh, you can transfer your save from the 360 to the PC. Awesome. It's an amazing game. It is Custado. I stuck very tightly to the main quests. Where's my thing? There it is. Hello. I stuck very tightly to the main quests on Skyrim, and I probably missed out a huge amount because once I'd done it, I didn't really feel the need to go back and explore the rest of the world. I did a little bit, but you know, I got a good, I don't know, 25, 30 hours out of that game just doing the main quest. Oh, it's on the Switch. Awesome. Richard completed all the side quests. Well, after that video, I'm not surprised. Right, what have we got next? It's Retro Baz. I'm sorry that you have to follow Retro Baz, but I'm sure you'll do a good job.
Yo, Retrobaz here with the Windows 98 PC.
Yo, hang on, where are you?
Probably.
Yo, Baz. Can't see you. Here we go.
Yo, Retrobaz here with the Windows 98 PC.
Okay, we're talking open world, we're talking Maxis. Who wants to hazard a guess as to what we're going to be seeing? Yo. Yo. Any guesses? Sims, says Foofly. Any advance on Sims? SimAnt? Sim Tower? Yo. Okay, let's find out.
Probably the first time I experienced what really felt like an open world game was when I ran into a demo of
Custado's
SimCity.
got it.
I did play SimCity 2000 back in the day, but what I didn't know at the time was that you could fly around a city that you built with this game, which is pretty amazing.
Oh, do you know what? I remember playing this game an awful lot, and I don't remember it looking that bad. Some of these characters look like they've been made in MS Paint.
And although this did feel like I could go anywhere in a kind of open world, I do honestly remember thinking this game was a bit of a joke. I mean, even for 96, these graphics are pretty hilarious to me. However, this game will always hold fond memories, and I'm sure it does for others too. Is that a dog?
It's like a ginormous rat thing.
I think LGR put it best when he said in his review that it may be unstable, buggy, and look like pureed anus, but it's also pure fun and hugely rewarding to play. If you haven't played this, you have to give it a go. Don't expect a flight sim, but it is fun. Back to Neil in the studio.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it is immense fun. I remember having a great time with that. Importing my city from SimCity. You've never seen it before, says RoboJohn. And of course, there's the Easter egg in there, which was put in there by a developer, whereby a bunch of gay men appear and start dancing around in the game. And the trigger that you put in there triggers way more than he ever intended it to, so it happens all the time, as I remember. And I think he got the sack off the back of it. It looks terrible. I remember it plays well. The Gay Pride Easter egg. And there was another one, wasn't there, where you could drive a car around the street. Was it Streets of SimCity? Where you could drag race around? Thank you, Baz. That was not open world. Who was this, by the way? My learned friend. Okay. Let's see what my learned friend, who is in the chat, has got to share with us today.
Thinking about open world made me think about just how far things have advanced. This was Hunchback, the first game I ever played on the CPC.
Probably the third game I ever played on the CPC. Roland on the Ropes and Harrier Attack, and then this.
The very antithesis of open world. I'm afraid though, thinking of open world made me go a little less retro. That said, Skyrim is now coming up to 9 years old.
Well, there's one question answered for us already. Skyrim is 9 years old.
But what a thing to explore this was.
If Richard appears in your video at any point, I will stand up and applaud you. Richard in a cave holding an Amiga.
Certainly an open world game by definition. But is it truly? What happens if you go to the edge?
Oh.
What about the staggeringly good Zelda Breath of the Wild? One of the best games I've ever played.
And I absolutely still need to play this.
It's huge. It's huge in terms of vision, scope, and it's huge in terms of the map. But go to the edge, and this happens. So what is truly open world? Well, thinking outside of the box, I thought of Civilization, where you can control the entire world. I also thought about the remarkable Google Earth, which, if you use it in VR, really does let you go anywhere.
Can I just lift the 90-second rule on this video? I just want this one to carry on.
From the comfort of your own home. But at the risk of turning into an old Two Ronnies sketch and answering the question from the previous stream, when it comes to games in the open world, at the minute there's only one answer. And I don't think I'm the only capable who thinks this. How far we have come. Back to Neil in the studio.
Oh, it was a roller coaster of emotions. Thank you, my learned friend. There is nothing worse, is there, than the invisible wall in a game? Nothing worse. At least put like an impassable mountain or something. But the invisible wall should be banned. Next up, it's our good friend Tim, and I hope he makes good use of his extra 3 seconds.
Hi, Tim here.
Hello,
Open
Tim
world,
here.
my mind went straight to my favourite arcade game, Dig Dug, which on a single screen is very open and allows you to play it how you want, but I didn't go for that. I actually chose a late 90s PC game, EverQuest. This is the box for EverQuest 2, and I picked EverQuest because I accidentally bought it thinking it was a single player RPG, and it turned out to be much more than that. It was the first game I played which was online permanently, and had what felt like a massive 3D world with a fully realised crafting, spell and economy system. Progress that seemed to be more or less limitless, and just punishingly hard, but at the time really novel and fun experience.
Still looks quite nice actually in that bit of footage you've got there. I played the first EverQuest, but the thing is, I played Ultimate Online too much, to the point where I knew that if I got involved in another game like that, that I would just destroy all the free time that I had. I just got far too addicted. So I had to kind of step away from it. I never tried EverQuest 2, but I steered clear of those games for a good decade.
To play with lots of other people, culminating in things like huge raids of the hardest zones like planes, which I had to do in American time zone, so staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning, and getting into the end game in a big way in guilds and whatnot. And I did play it on until 2003, and unbelievably it's still going. You can still play it.
Oh,
and
wow.
For this video I managed to access my old account and my characters, so they're still there after all this time, nearly 20 years untouched.
So your character is called Poons Stormkind, Tim. Is that you, sir?
Anyway, it's the first game I played that I would really say warranted the term open world. So that's me. Back to you in the studio, Neil.
Absolutely a worthy open world choice. Yes, it is. Tim, aka, is it Poons Stormkind? And there's some talk in the chat about Virus and Zarch. Yeah, they were great games. Castardo, behave. Oh, it's Pillock next. Let's see what Pillock's got for us.
Hello, Cave Dwellers.
Ooh,
Pillock
that's a
here.
little loud.
Welcome to my submission for Open World.
Hello, Pillock.
Welcome to Ant Attack.
Aha!
For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of playing this game before, it's that classic tale of boy or girl meets member of opposite sex in city surrounded by giant bitey ants, rescues them, takes them back to the entrance. They proclaim they're their hero, get all emotional, mushy, will end happily ever after. The reason I've chosen this is it was one of the first games I played on the Spectrum that wasn't just kind of a platform, go through this door, that leads to that room, go here, you can only go to certain places. So admittedly there is a wall around it, kind of open world, but you can explore, you can do anything you want, you're not limited to where the designer thought you should be moving at any time. There are giant bitey ants, which are the penalty. Fidget, I'm recording a video, shush. Which are the penalty for exploring.
Behave, Fidget.
But you can kill them. However, there is another feature of this, which is why I chose it, and I genuinely thought I'd found some sort of mega cheat here, which is if you just run up the side of the city, you eventually get to another city. Oh. And I thought I'd found some kind of amazing hidden feature of the game. It turns out what I'd actually discovered was that 8-bit integers roll over and you just approach the same city from the other direction.
Oh, you'd wrapped around the entire map. Great choice. That's the earliest game we've had. I'm actually surprised by your choices this month, to be honest. I was expecting certain games, which I'll mention a bit later in case anyone else has chosen them. But so far, it's been really nice choices. And Attack on the ZX Spectrum. by Sandy someone, wasn't it? I can't remember the surname. Hoping to see Action Biker, says Neo Infinity. Our next one is by Controller Reese, who is in the channel here. Reese, feel free to try and post your... Sandy White, thank you. Your channel link. And anyone else for that matter who submitted a video, if you have a channel, feel free to try and submit a link. I don't know if the bot will let you.
Hi everyone, Reese here.
Hello Reese. Let's kill the music. Let's make sure you're loud enough. And let's just appreciate, as Reese is there with his eyes closed, he's just thinking, He's thinking, that Hoffman record framed on the wall is a glorious thing. 10 points. Wake up. And we can see what he's got on the screen.
Hi everyone, Reese here, and my nomination for my open world game is the original Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Released on the PC in 1997, Grand Theft Auto was developed by Dundee-based developer DMA Design, who'd previously brought us Lemmings in 1991.
And we'll be hearing more from Dundee-based developers DMA Design a little later in this stream.
And of course rebranded as Rockstar North in 2002.
So Reese just put a caption there to say this is running on a 486, so it's a bit chuggy. It supported 3DFX cards, or at least a patch came out to give it 3DFX support, and that's how I remember running it. And it was just beautiful on a 3DFX card.
D-based developer DMA Design, who'd previously brought us Lemmings in 1991, and of course rebranded as Rockstar North in 2002.
Thank you, Dave.
The game was originally conceived as a top-down racer called Race and Chase, but was expanded into the game we now know and love after early testing revealed that people had a lot more fun running down pedestrians and running from cops than racing. GTA features 3 cities based on New York, Miami and San Francisco, and while it did have a main storyline, it's best known for the sheer amount of freedom given to the player to complete various side missions handed out by the local gangs. The game went on to spawn 6 sequels, shifting more than 280 million units with an estimated gross revenue of over $9 billion, making it the 4th highest selling video game series of all time, after Mario, Pokemon and Tetris. Finally, I just wanted to point out that this building on the front of the box is actually Trump Tower in New York City. Back to Neil in the studio.
Said with no comment, knowing that we don't do politics on RMC. Thank you, Reese. Let's bring the music back. Yeah, great memories of that game. It used to play music from any CD that you left in the CD drive. I think it did. Either that or I had the no CD patch, which let me play it without the original CD. And it would just play whatever I had in the CD drive, which was great. And as you said, it was the playtesting that turned it into the game it was. It so easily could have just been a racing game. And it would have been a great racing game, but it became so much more because they had the guts to listen to feedback and turn it into what it became. So that's awesome. Namco's ran this on an AMD K6200 with a 2 meg Cirrus Logic VGA card. Ran okay for me. Well, a K6200 is quite a bit more beastly than what a 486 would have been. GTA London, yeah, that was fun. Jake, I don't know what that's a reference to. They made modern sequels top down as well. I've never played them. Didn't know that, James. So we've got one more. Also, just appreciate Reese's room here, because Reese has his own YouTube channel, Control at Reese. He's just put this beautiful racking up and completely changed his room. I think he's given a tour recently on his channel of how he's put this up and arranged everything. And he's a big Atari man. But don't let that put you off. Our last one is from Naoki. I said it right this time. Let's see what he's got for us. What do I say?
The world. It's the adventure.
Those are some good graphics. What game is this?
It's the experience. The beauty.
Namco's has put a guess in.
In discovering new places. In uncovering the past. Open world games let you run at your own pace. Free to roam on your own adventure. Free to immerse yourself in their world. From breathtaking visuals and master-crafted music, to come together and to create the very soul of a game. Games like Witcher and Horizon are just two games that can be mentioned, but many more exist and hold their own unique experience. Immersing yourself in their world is sometimes more gripping than any story or action could hope to achieve.
It's those moments, isn't it? It's those moments when you climb up the top of a cliff and the sun's setting and the world just looks amazing. That's what I love about open world RPGs. Not necessarily fighting the dragons.
So, lay the weapon down and just take a moment to enjoy the serenity.
And fade. Lovely. Thank you, Naoki. And also, that also highlights the fact that a lot of the time I will go to The Witcher, Horizon, or games like that for their soundtrack when I want just some background music to relax to and work to without, interruption. So many great soundtracks from those kind of games. Oh, I feel calm and relaxed after that, Naoki. So there were our 10 videos on the subject of open world. Thank you so much to Dexter, Amigos, Laurent, Richard Shears, Retro Baz, my learned friend Tim, Billock, Controller Reese and Naoki for your videos. We've got a whole lot more to come yet. We've got our unboxing over at the other desk to do. And we've got our magazines to read, which will bring us back to the theme of open world for some of the games that I thought you might choose, but you didn't. So we can go over them. Oh, hello, Boat. There you are. So thank you. Well, I have to get thinking for next week's, next month. I keep saying next week, next month's theme for the video. So any suggestions, let me know. And I guess we'll come back to the other stuff that I've got on here to show you later. Let's go over to the other desk, which is going to involve me pulling the cable out of that camera and plugging it into that camera. So just give me a second. Okay, and I've got to change the mic over to that one. Good, and I'm going to take the laptop with me so I can see the chat. Bear with. Okay, chat, are you still with me? Are my levels okay? How are we doing? Don't drop us. Nurse scalpel please, yeah. We got all the tools here. Now, can you hear me okay? Is the music okay? Yeah, all good? All good, perfect. So I've got a stack of stuff next to me, some of which I bought myself, some of which has been donated. The first thing isn't boxed, I'm just going to show you it very quickly. It's quiet, says Naoki. What's quiet? No, we're okay? I think we're okay. The first thing, Matt, who helped to produce the Hoffman record, turned up with these last week. Zoom you in. Too loud, turn it down, says Jamal. And these are all games for the Palmos, or Palm OS, including Airline Manager Simulator. I actually quite like these boxes because although they're a bit skinny, they all open up to tell you more about Airline Manager Simulator. That one doesn't sound quite as exciting as Car Expense Tracker. Oh yeah. It gets more exciting, I promise. Vegas Casino. I mean, there were just so many poker and roulette games on handhelds. Big Game Hunter. Or All American Game Hunter. I guess you just jab your finger on a deer's head to shoot it. Jet Fighter, now we're talking. And it works in both your monochrome and colour. Come on, these, you know they're going to be terrible, but I have to try them. Mini Golf, now that might work out on the Palm OS. In fact, there's even a version there for Windows CE included. You recognise the bar from the top there. Serious Sam on Palm OS. Now how does that work? I've only got monochrome Palm Pilots, so I'll have to find a colour one to try and get the best out of these. Pool Tarts and Shuffleboard, another copy of Vegas Casino if anyone wants a copy, and Stormfront. So there you go, who knew so many games existed for Palm OS, all from Global Star Software. I'll have to find out, have I got a complete set? Have I actually got a complete set of some systems software library at last? Yeah, we can do a Palm OS video at some point. Now, hopefully you've put a letter, and like somebody's left their address there, but not their name. Hopefully you've put in here who it's from. Otherwise, I do apologise if I don't name check you. And this is a book, and I always say yes to books because I'm building up a library of classic textbooks in the hope that one day I will have a space where people can come and, you know, have a cup of coffee, pick up a book and enjoy them. Aim big. Aha, we've got a message. Dear Neil, here is the book as promised. It is a little outdated as it's from 1983, but it's interesting in how technology was back then. From Will, so thank you, Will. Nicely packaged, that's what we like to see. Pillock was lucky enough to get a Palm. Yes, I was given about 15 Palms on the understanding that I could give them out in my gift box if I needed to, because I don't need 15 Palm Pilots. So Pillock got one of them. Jamal, I had a Windows phone and I loved it. Not the CE though, the later ones. Oh look, it's got that classic WH Smith logo on there. For those of you in the UK. It's a rainbow book on computers and electronics. Oh, I remember these. Oh, with the robot on the front. Let's have a very quick flick through. Oh, it's so 80s. Look, there's a microwave cooking a piece of ham. Takes you back, doesn't it, just? I remember going to the library to read books like this. computer games. There's Richard there in his best pullover playing Asteroids. Above, some arcade games use special effects including many sounds to make the game exciting. You can play games such as chess on a microcomputer. It's a picture for Tim. Bit of R2 and C3PO. Computers and the police. I mean, to be honest, most of the chapter topics would be just as relevant today as they are back then. But it's just these illustrations that take you back. Was that the Viking lander? It may well have been. So the rest of them are very big boxes, except for this, which has a little story. This is a brand new thing. This is a Minis Forum Desk Mini. You can see from the size of my hands that it's not a particularly big thing. We'll open it up, but this is a PC with a Ryzen 5 3550, which will go up to 3.7 gigahertz, and a Radeon Vega 8 graphics chip with 8 gig of RAM, a 256 gig SSD, and Wi-Fi, and all the other bits. And the reason I've got this is because it was one of the many emails I get from companies in China saying, will you review our product? And I said to them, look, it looks like a good thing, but my audience doesn't want to see me review a brand new system. But if you want to send it, I will consider it with no obligation whatsoever to review it. And usually at that point, people just say no. And they said, sure, what's your address? All right, okay, if you want to send it, send it. And then they accidentally sent 2 and didn't want the other one back. So I've taken one home, which is why I know this is good, because I've turned it into my media center on my TV at home. Here we go. Oh, something's rattling. Okay, doesn't sound good. And then I got an email from them saying, why haven't you reviewed it? You need to review it. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. We agreed that there was no obligation. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. Here's the email. And then I never heard from them again. So I think they got a little bit upset. Yeah, there you go. It's, you know, it's pretty good for what it is. It's the perfect media center computer. And you just touch the top. Oh, I'll put it back on now. Touch the top. Oh, that's what's rattling, a little SATA connector. There it is. It's amazingly powerful and quick. You turn it on and it's loaded into Windows and your iPlayer and everything. In the time it takes me to walk back to my sofa. So that's all I care about. That's the important thing. So what I might do is I might upgrade the mini Gauntlet arcade cabinet at some point with this. There you go. Anyway, we'll move on because that's modern tech. I just wanted to show you it. If you've come across these and you're wondering if they're any good, in my opinion, yes. This one is really good as a media center. Noki, as a fellow Gauntlet fan, do it and film it. Well, I may well do that. Right, it's time for the big boxes. Yeah, let's start with this one here. It's from the US. Have we got a name? From Simon. Thank you, Simon. I don't know if you're with us in the chat today. Mark has a Pi 4 for those kinds of things. I'm sure a Pi 4 is more than powerful enough for Netflix, iPlayer and all that jazz. Well, whatever it is, it's certainly well packaged. We've got 2 boxes in a bunch of foam. Lovely. Sorry, mean old boomer, to send you to sleep. What's in box number 1? It's pretty good for what it is, RMC 2020. You know me, Woodland. You know I don't like to say anything too controversial. It is what it is. 5 out of 10. Ooh. Okay, he's got a very colourful cable in here. Oh, oh, it's got a logo on it that you're all going to approve of. Oh, what is this? I mean, I know what 3D-FX is, but what is this thing? What is this bit? I don't know what this bit is. A video capture breakout? I'm not sure. There's another box, but I mean, this is your standard 3D-FX breakout cable, isn't it? I don't know what that is. Quick, open the other box. Ooh. Anything with that logo on it excites me. Oh, this is too hot for YouTube. Right, we're just sorry. Next box. Okay. We have layers of cards here. Card number 1 is it's a TV tuner with a 3D-FX logo on it. What is this? A 3D-FX TV tuner? Anyone? Must be some kind of combo card, 3D-FX and TV tuner, and it looks like that's got the port that the breakout box plugs into. So it must be like a 3D-FX capture card? I am confused. Let's see if there's a model number on here. That's... No. Okay, well, we've got a couple of labels. We've got V3T416. I don't know if that means anything. And we've got 210-0371-001. Jorg says it's a Voodoo 3 3500 TV. Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to put it in a machine, which we will do. But there's more. There's more. What have we got in here? Ooh. This is a Real Magic DVD decoder card. For all of those games that we were promised that would support Real Magic MPEG chips and never did. It's a fun thing. But wait, there's more. This is incredible. It's a knife. Oh, yes. I'm thinking some of these could go in that tower computer that I showed you on the cassette tape video, the Compaq. This is a Creative Labs or AWE. Doesn't say what model it is. It's ISA. It's from 1996. Oh no, 96, but oh, model CT 4380. So is that a 32 or a 64? Whatever it is, it's a beauty. Pair that up with a 3D-FX card, and you've got a beautiful machine. We've got another ISA card here. Richard says it's a 64. Beautiful. I never had one of those. I always had the knockoff third-party cards. You know, I didn't have the actual creative card. This is a Diamond Stealth Pro. So we're going back a bit older than that 3D-FX card. It's loaded up on RAM there. Again, an ISA card. Lovely. That would sit nicely in a 486. Yeah, the zip RAM. And we've got 2 more cards in here. I'm glad I'm on the anti-static mat. Oh, good lord. Oh! Wait until you see this. SLI 3D-FX, baby. With the cable connecting them up. 3D Game Card 2, they both say. So they're a matched pair. I think these are probably Voodoo 2. Oh, look at them. Just, look at them. SLI Voodoo 2 with the AWE or 64. That is the dream machine, isn't it? Oh, there's videos coming. There are going to be videos coming for these. Let's put them back very carefully. Mumbo's got the quote there. Oh. So I need to do a little bit of research on that compact machine I've got and see, are these period accurate to go in that Pentium 90, or should they go in something a bit later? Should the Stealth Pro go in there? I'll figure it out what should go in what system for sure. The 3500 is faster than the Voodoo 2 SLI, says Castado. Yeah, so it's all about putting it in a period accurate machine. If the 3500 suits a P90, I think that's a bit later than that. You'd want to put that in a later, maybe a Pentium 2 or 3. I will put this all away properly a little bit later. I just want to put it to one side for now. So Simon, a huge thank you for sending that in. That is a box of pure joy, isn't it? Put that down there where I won't step on it. Right. Another big box. This is from Matthew Mobus. Thank you, Matthew. Hello, Smoke Monster. We're just in the middle of an unboxing. You've just missed the delivery of some SLI Voodoo 2s and all sorts of goodness, but who knows what's in the next box. Hacking peanuts, I can tell you that much. The TV out box is for the 3500. Cool. Thank you, Jorg. Thank you to everyone who nips off and looks up those part numbers for me. What is this? Oh! Exciting noises. Yeah, $100 postage. I did pay the postage. I always offer to pay the postage. I think I did. I certainly offered. It's a TI 99 /4A. I think this one was on the understanding that I would source an Amiga to send by return. That's right, because in America, Amigas are quite a lot more expensive to get hold of. So we've done a little bit of trading. Hello, Mad Boy. Naoki, if I do need it painted Mercedes silver, I know you're the man. So it's got some classic keyboard gravy on there. That's plastic, but it's it's got a few scuffs and scrapes, but nothing that won't clean off, I don't think. All the keys are present. Other than that, what condition it's in, I don't know. But hey, it's a lovely looking thing. Solid state software. Yeah, by that they mean cartridge slot. So we got that. Let's see what else is in the box with it. Oh, we've got some of that solid state software. So we've got TI Extended Basic. I'm guessing there's Basic ROM on there as standard. Disk Manager 2. Kevin Tom's Disk Manager 2. We've got a sticker. Oh, that's come off of it. So there's the that sits on above the keyboard. And then we've got we've got more software. Oh, we've got a huge amount of software actually. Football. I'm guessing that's going to be American football. Parsec. TI Writer, word processor. It's always funny seeing applications on a cartridge, isn't it? And not a floppy disk. You just assume a game is going to appear. I need to play this. Hunt the Wumpus. Hunt the Wumpus. And TI Invaders. I think we can guess what TI Invaders are. Then we have, the power supply. A joystick. Let's see what kind of joystick these things came with. Hello Neil. Hello chat. Oh, hello Keith. How are you doing? You're not logged on as the Digital Orphanage. You're logged on as Keith. You're logged onto your troll account, Keith, where you leave the horrible comments. Now, are these analog? I think they're digital, just with a very large rubbery membrane under there. I don't think these are analog. One big button. They're kind of nice. They feel like they'd take a little bit of abuse. Maybe. We'll find out, hopefully, if they're working. Oh, hello. It's 2 joysticks, but only 1 lead. It's 2 going into 1. Instant Robotron. Hunt the Wumpus is on most Unix systems. Says RoboJohn. 2 joysticks, 1 plug. Oh, this looks interesting. This is... Oh, is this a TV modulator? Yeah. So what have we got on the back then? It's an RGB output, but you can plug into it this rather chunky silver TV modulator, which I'm guessing will give us an NTSC signal. So we'll stick with RGB. No towels. No, nothing has been wrapped in towels yet. And And I haven't sniffed anything yet either. I think that's everything in that box, yes. So there we go, that was a lovely TI-99. Lovely thing to add to the collection. And I'll have to make sure I use the appropriate converter to step down the power supply going into it so I don't blow the thing up. We've got 2 more boxes. Here's the next one. Keith has signed into his other account. Hello, Keith. I am going to need a bigger cave. February is the plan, to find a bigger cave. And the goal of February's move, which is when my lease is up, is to find a cave that's twice the size, okay, so that one room is dedicated to permanently set up systems so that you guys in the chat can come and visit. Once a month, I'll have a sort of an open day or a private party, if you like. Not going to be a public museum, but a chance for you to actually come here and get involved. We didn't see who this was from, actually. Who are you? Doesn't say, so I do apologise. I will... Oh, this is something I bought on eBay. This is a huge box for what it is. It's a keyboard and mouse that is underneath all of the bubble wrap, so that wasn't actually doing anything. This is just a compact keyboard and mouse, period accurate, to go with the compact tower that you saw in the cassette tape video and that I unboxed last week. So I bought that on eBay, and then I bought this, and I've also got a compact monitor to go with it, all with the same, you know, the proper logo, so we can clean it all up, make it look nice, maybe put the SLI 3D-FX cards into it, and get a really nice tower piece. So that's all that is. Boring, says Mark. Boring. Right, you think that was boring? Let me excite you with the final package. Now, I mentioned during Reese's video, DMA Design. I said it won't be the last that you hear of them today. This is why. This box comes from Mike Daly of DMA Design, the inventor of Grand Theft Auto and Lemmings. He sent me his shredder. Told you it was exciting. No, of course it's not a shredder. Let's open it up. Now this is not in working condition. I happen to know the power board inside it is blown up because he told me. It's been in his loft for many, many years. So I'm guessing he was probably sent it with a view to porting or making some games for it. And he just went, no, I haven't got time for that. I'm going to put it in the loft. And then when I was working with him to create his book chapter, he said, oh, I've got this thing in the loft. It's not doing anything. Do you want it? Yes, I do. Brace yourselves. I will pop it on the table now with no comment. Boom. It's an NEC PC-FX boxed. Should we take a look inside, as it's the last unboxing box for today? I mean, look at it. I love that box. You got ripped off. Let's have a quick look inside. You can see here what it's supposed to look like there with the CD drive on the top. Does it shred? That's the question everyone wants answering. Oh, we've got a game in here. Battle Heat. I don't think many games ever actually came out for this system. It was a bit of a flop. Still got the PC-FX tape on it. We'll carefully open that. go, there's the CD in there. 1994 Hudson Soft. It does look brand new, Ravi. Nice to see you, Ravi, by the way. Yeah, I suspect he just got it and went, yeah, or plugged it in without a step down or something and went, oh, that's blown up. We can probably tell by how minty the controller is or not. I mean, it's still got the cable tie around it. There's absolutely no finger juice on that. It's a lovely thing. Sniff test. Smells of, what does it smell of? Lemming. It smells of lemming. There's a little module sat in the bottom of the box here which says PC-FX BMP. That's still stapled, that's never been opened. I'm guessing that's some kind of RAM upgrade or something. What is an FX BMP, people? Can anyone have a quick look? Got the manuals, sealed. And then we've got a little packet of screws. So he's obviously had it open. It's not a hentai module, Reese. Memory card? Quite possibly. A backup memory pack, says William. Cool, okay. So that's what you put your saved games on. And then that just popped out, but we've still got the dust caps on the ports. I guess the backup memory module goes in there, yeah. Power button. CD drive on the top. There's a door at the back for what looks like a pretty hefty expansion module. Not sure what that is. Oh, I've got some research to do on this, and hopefully it will just take a few caps to get that broken power supply running. Not sure if it will open or not. There's another bay on the bottom, actually. So many little expansion doors. The back door is where the BMP goes, says William. There we go. It says 50/60 Hertz, 100 volts. And we've got an S video out. Looks like a composite out and a left and right audio. Oh, I am looking forward to discovering this system. So, pretty cool, right? Hello, Gary Ninja. This is a NEC PC-FX sent to me by Mike Daly of DMA Design. Yeah, you're right, TDO. Very well spotted. It's pretty plasticky. You can hear that creak, can't you? But it's a nice looking thing. Do you know what? I'm just going to put that on the table and leave that there because that's the last thing that we needed to unbox today, the PC-FX. The only other thing I got was a 19-inch CRT monitor, which is Gateway branded. I'm not going to lift it up onto the table, but it has a Trinitron tube in there, which I picked up for £35 on eBay, and it was a local seller, so I could just... It was a local seller for local people, so I could just go and pick it up. I mean, is this one of those systems where I shouldn't go and look at the software library because it's full of, you know, pervy software? Is that what I'm going to find? There's a plastic ridge thingy that got away, is there? Thank you, Pillock. Use a private browser. It's a dirty console for dirty people. If you look at the screenshots on Battle Heat, what I'm immediately seeing is not a fighting game, but FMV footage. So is Is this a console that just ruined everything by trying to make it about interactive movies? Anyway, let's go back to the other camera. Do-do-do. Those dirty Japanese gamers. Hey, I can see the chat better now. Let's plug the laptop back in. One day I'll just have switches that I can flick. But as it stands, if I try and have everything running perfectly, I run out of USB resources on the streaming PC, which is why I have to take cables with me and move about the place. So hello to all 181 of you who are watching. We've seen our videos today. We've done our unboxings. A few more things I want to talk about today. We've got our magazines to look at. With some open world games that I picked out of magazines that I was expecting you guys to pick, but you didn't. I think that's all we've got to do. Oh no, Elmo's fallen over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some gameplay up on the screen of what I'm going to talk about in the magazines. The first one is not an open world game. It is... let's switch you over to the laptop. It's just the news about the Turrican re-release. Starting with Turrican 2, just because I noticed it was in this magazine. Oh, we've got some Grammarly going on. Custado, what would you have picked? Ian says, hi Neil, did you see my submission on Facebook, an ADF of I didn't, Ian, sorry. You need to send anything into RMC live show at gmail.com. So it all comes into one place. So if you can do that, I will include it in next month's show. Mike says Hunter was a bit of an open world game. Custado says Big Mother Truckers. Fine. Right, RoboJohn, you were playing Turrican 2 last night, and a lot of us are very familiar with Turrican 2. And I've got from March 1991 Amiga format. Let's get rid of Grammarly. I've got the review here, £24.99. Okay, Turrican 2. Give me your guesses for what you think Amiga format scored Turrican 2. It says it's got colourful parallax backdrops and well animated sprites, which create a good atmosphere throughout the whole game. 82 says Richard Shears, 10 out of 10 says your Custado behave, 17%, 79, 89, 91. It says there's a lot to explore and discover while playing, which should keep map makers busy. And a pretty high-class shoot-'em-up with plenty of frantic action, but it's rather too similar to the original Turrican. So a lot of you in the 90s and high 80s. Amiga format rated this 80%. Ravi's gone for 98. 80%. I think it deserves better, but obviously in the context of the period that it came out, the biggest gripe is that it's too similar to the original Turrican. 80%. And in the same magazine, Prince of Persia gets 88%. Now, if you're complaining that Turrican 2 is a bit similar to Turrican, Prince of Persia had been around on the 8-bits. It is a classic, but you've got to treat it with the same context, haven't you? You've probably already played this before. Prince of Persia had come out before then, hadn't it? It had come out before 1991. I'm sure it had. It's a great game, but I'm just, you know... Hello, what's appeared on here now? Another advert. Prince of Persia 2, yeah, that's a good question. It's not in this magazine. Anyway, the review I really wanted to show you in this magazine is something that Mike mentioned. By the way, Powermonger was #1 in the charts in this month, and Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles was second, which scored 35%. Just goes to show the score doesn't always count for everything. Where's my review? There it is. I'll pop up on the screen what we've got here in the magazine. What's my score for Turrican 2? I would give it a good 88%, 89%, I think. It's not without its flaws, but it's damn good, and just the music should score highly. Oh, you can use VLC to stream YouTube, can you? I didn't know that. So in the same magazine, so Turrican got 80%, Hunter got 86%. Stunning 3D system is used to create a very original game. 3 different styles of play: action, solo tasks, or deep dark adventure. That's where you have to go and cut off the general's head, isn't it? Small 3D world can be quickly explored. I think that's a fair comment. 3D occasionally gets glitchy. Fast but tense blend of arcade and adventure, and over 15 vehicles to drive and crash. Ravi preferred Castle Master. Yeah, see, now I was sure someone was going to pick Hunter. Or Midwinter, that's a good shout. Tea Time and Biscuits. Good name, by the way. £24.99. I liked the bicycle in Hunter. You could ride around on a bicycle. Yeah, you did, Mike. That's why I picked up on it. So that's one choice of open world game for me, Hunter. And another one that I thought you would have picked, this is in Crash Magazine. So we're going over to the ZX Spectrum with that awesome Ollie Frey artwork on the cover. This is, I suppose I should load up the Spectrum version because that's what we're looking at. Oh, and on the subject of Turrican, by the way, yeah, so the new Turrican Collector's Edition came out. Just wondered what your thoughts were. You can get Turrican on your Switch for $34.99. That gives you the Switch game, which I think is a version running in an emulator, basically. That's what they've done with these. For €99.99, you get the... What do you get for that? What do you get for that? Let's have a look. Turrican Collector's Edition, officially licensed Nintendo Switch game, individually numbered, limited to 3,500 copies. Oh, so you get the Turrican Anthology Volumes 1 and 2. So they put it out in two volumes, and for €100 you get both volumes. So I guess you just get a different selection of games in them. And then this is the thing that got me. It's sold out on the PlayStation 4. It's still available on the Switch for the Ultra Collection. €200. €200 for Turricans. So you get volumes 1 and 2 of the anthology, limited to 999 copies. It doesn't give you a lot of detail actually as to what's actually in it. Oh, here we go. So Volume 1, you get Turrican on the Amiga, Turrican 2 on the Amiga, Super Turrican on the SNES, Super Turrican Director's Cut on the SNES, Mega Turrican Score Attack on the Mega Drive. And then Volume 2, you get Turrican 3 on the Amiga, Mega Turrican on the Mega Drive, Mega Turrican Director's Cut, Super Turrican 2, Super Turrican 1 on the SNES. And then you get a whole bunch of other stuff. A 20cm figure, 4 CD soundtracks, an art book, a sticker sheet, 4 acrylic art cards, 4 Amiga coasters, an enamel pin. I mean, it's all that collector's stuff that people love. €200. You've got to be a hardcore fan for that. There's no Commodore 64 version on there. Interestingly, thought it might include the Commodore 64 version. So, for €34.99, I could stomach that if you got Volume 1 and 2. I think it's stretching it a bit to want €70 for the two of them. A couple of you have said cynical cash grab. Hopefully, off the back of this, what will happen is when they've made their money, it will appear in the online stores and maybe you can pick it up for $5 or something. That's a lot of money. I love to support these things, but that is a lot of money. And Bitter Blitter says, fine, do it, but at least do a new indie game rather than a purchased IP. They were talking about, the same company were tweeting about Turrican 4 2 years ago, and it never materialized. So they obviously bought the license with intentions maybe to make Turrican 4. Didn't happen, so they bought out a collection. Anyway, yeah, look out for it in the bargain bin. So the Game Aim Crash magazine. What is this? And I thought you guys would have picked this. I really did. I played this an awful lot on the Amiga, but of course it came out on the 8-bits first. It was on the Atari 800 XL, it was on the ZX Spectrum, it was on the CPC. Any Mercenary fans out there? Crash Magazine gave it a crash smash 96%. They said, at last, live the legend as it bursts into the Spectrum life. Mercenary is a concept and a half. An entire alien environment has been crammed into 48K with a huge overgrown planet and subterranean city to explore. What is most impressive though is the way the game is structured. Taking an object to the Palias, that's the, you've got two races, haven't you? The Palias and the Mechanoids. So taking an object to them can infuriate the Mechanoids to the point where they won't negotiate with you and vice versa. Consequently, correct diplomacy is essential to get the best out of both factions. The sheer depth and involvement on offer is second to none, and the satisfaction gained from progressing is paramount. Mercenary has a great past, and now thanks to David Aubrey-Jones, he's the guy who ported it, Spectrum owners have the opportunity to give it a great future. Because it was Paul Wokes who made the original game, wasn't it? Who's sadly no longer with us. It's no action biker, says Neo Infinity. Damocles is amazing. We got solid shaded polygons in Damocles, didn't we? Midwinter, Steve. I had Midwinter. I had the map on the wall. I played that to death. Yeah, Elite. Elite is something that I thought people would pick, but no. Not that I'm disappointed in any way. I loved all your choices. There's an advert here for the game Mask. I don't know. Let me bring that up. Mask. I don't know if anyone else saw, but there was a warehouse discovered that's been shown on Twitter that's full of boxes and boxes of unopened brand new Mask toys that have been forgotten about. So expect to see a lot of Mask toys appearing on eBay soon. And our last magazine is ST Amiga format. Have you got this one, Reese? Have you got this one? I know you're collecting them. January 1989. I love ST and Amiga format because it's really in the early days of the Amiga 500. So when a lot more people are starting to get their hands on the Amiga, and the Atari ST is priced accordingly to compete with it. And there's not a huge amount of software yet. It's a very skinny magazine, But, you know, it's interesting to see what software does come out for it. Reese hasn't got this one. So this game here, which I haven't seen before, it's called Pioneer Plague. Let's see if we can find it on the YouTube. The Plague, Pioneer Plague. Here we go. This is on the channel WTF Game Tracks. Oh, yet unreleased game. Is this unreleased? Maybe this was never released. I don't know, but let's find out. So I haven't actually played this game. Pioneer Plague. Now, if I tell you it's by Mandarin Software, you can't actually see that screen, can you? There we go. Now, if I tell you this is by Mandarin Software, you know, it might give you a clue as to why it's so damn crazy. Those crazy French. I think they were French, weren't they? Mandarin, were they French? Did they do... I want to say they did Captain Blood, but they didn't do Captain Blood. Anyway, here's the interesting thing about this game, and hopefully we'll see an example of it in a minute. This is the first game to appear on the Amiga. I'll read here. The Amiga's assets have definitely been pushed to the limits in here. 4,096 colours and true stereo sound doesn't crop up too often on many games, even in these high-tech days. And an SD version would seem very unlikely. The gameplay doesn't really resemble the avowed plot too well, but lots of good effects keep it interesting. Whether it will stand the test of time is debatable. For all its flashy graphics, it lacks the addictive qualities of its less colourful ancestors. So this is using ham mode, hold and modify mode. Yeah, Jorg, you've got it. It's a ham game. You don't see many, if any, of those. So this is using that ham mode to put 4,096 colours on the screen. Really interesting. I guess it's on those screens like we just saw there, like this screen here. I think that's probably ham. Ravi says, such an Amos game. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a great game. I just think it's interesting that it's using the ham mode. Let's see, what is the plot? Oh, here we go. Pioneer Plague uses the Amiga's bizarrely named ham hold and modify graphics facility to exploit the entire screen of spectrum of 4,096 colours. Ham graphics are nothing new. They've appeared in lots of painting and drawing packages, but their use in games is a revolution. Ham graphics require a great deal of processor time because of the range of colours used. This is bad news for games, which are notorious for demanding a great deal of speed from the computer. Although 4,096 colours might seem like a great idea, they only appear on a host of title screens. The action screens are forced to use more conventional graphics, so that's what we're looking at there. Apart from that, there is the grand sounding Euclidean, I can't say this word, sub-Euclidean level. Yeah, let's go with that. Sub-Euclidean level, which really gives an effective impression of speed. I think that's that wireframe level we just saw there, with lots of true stereo sound effects cropping up. It still doesn't tell me what the plot is. Okay, the Pioneer Probe Mark IV was created to solve Earth's overpopulation problems. It runs around finding uninhabited planets and terraforming them so that they're ready to be colonized. Sound like a great idea? It might have been a genetic defect in the Mark IV that meant that it no longer creates environmental variety, which is a way of explaining the fact that the game's planet surfaces look identical, turning everything into a large paving slab. With the Mark IV out of control, it just nukes all planet life without testing to see if it's inhabited. It's up to you to prevent the spread of the probes. There you go, you're chasing probes that are nuking things. So 78%. I I just found it interesting because of the use of ham. Other than that, yeah. I mean, this particular scene almost looks like one of those FMV games where all you're doing is trying to click on targets. But in the back of the magazine, we can buy Strip Poker 2 data discs. Disc 1, Beverly and Dawn. Disc 2, Lee and Roy. Disc 3, Suzanne and Bianca. Disc 4, Rachel and Kim, £9.95 each. You mentioned Captain Blood earlier. Now that was truly bizarre, says Steve. I sat in front of a cover tape demo for ages, perplexed by it. There were certain parts of this game that reminded me of Captain Blood, just that scene in the spaceship. I was half expecting the big finger to appear that you click on things. Strip Poker needs ham, says TDO. Remember that FMV game for the Mega CD, says James, that featured a young woman horror theme? Do you mean Night Trap? Yeah, Night Trap. That was recently re-released. They've recaptured the original footage and re-released it on the PS4, I think. Was Kung Fu ham? I don't know. Kung Fu. Is Kung Fu actually a game, Ravi? I've not heard of that one. Let's look it up. Kung Fu. Oh, it is. Oh, it's on the CD32, so that may well have been AGA. 1996. Oh god, this looks awful. No wonder you want to sell your CD32 collection, Ravi. I mean, sure, it's got colours. Reese thinks this looks amazing. So Kung Fu, that's a game. And just one last time, if you've joined us late today, This Week in Retro is a podcast that I am now co-hosting. Anchor.fm/This Week in Retro, or search Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all your usual places for This Week in Retro if you need a newsy retro podcast. Hello. So I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Oh, that's a perfect 2 hours, which I think is the right length for the cave. 2 hours is the right length for the cave. I hope you've enjoyed the unboxing. We had some amazing items. Those 3DFX cards, that PC-FX, all going to definitely be appearing in future videos. Thank you, Dave, for posting the link. No SoundCloud? I don't know if Boat's still in the chat. Are we on SoundCloud, Boat? He deals with that side of things. Thank you for your videos. If you've got suggestions for next month's stream, let me know. We've had Open World. What did we have before? Flight? I think we had Flight before because of Flight Sim. Can't remember what we had before that, but there's so many we can choose from. Thank you as always for hanging out. Puzzle games. That is a simple and effective choice, Foo Flies. Let's go with that. Puzzle games will be next month's show, so get thinking. Graphic adventures, also a great choice. We can do that in a future show. Pinball, yes, because TDO can film all his pinball tables. But yeah, let's go with puzzle games. Thank you as always. A special thank you to the patrons who get to submit the videos and for all of their support. Thank you to everyone who's ever watched a video on the channel. Give this stream a quick thumbs up, and I do believe Kim Justice is starting a stream now. So if you would like, shall we get a link and go and do a manual raid of Kim? Because Kim has just released, I think, to the patrons, not to the public yet, so look out for this. Kim does amazing documentaries on video game companies. I'm sure a lot of you have seen them, and she's just done one on Codemasters, and it looks amazing. So look out for that Codemasters one, and let's go and do a raid. Let's go and get the link for Kim. Kim Justice. I'll stick it in the chat. I'm sure she said earlier she was going to be streaming at 8. Let's have a look. Kim, are you streaming? Oh, she's on Twitch. Thank you, Dave. That's why. That's why. Twitch.tv/Kim_Justice. Just about to start. That's perfect timing. Perfect. Head over to twitch.tv/Kim_Justice. Go and give Kim a big RMC hug. And there won't be a video this Thursday, by the way, just because of all the shipping and packing that I had to do on the Hoffman vinyl. But you've had a live show last Sunday and today, and you got videos on Thursday. I'll catch up, I promise, and you'll get some more videos very soon. Thank you as always. Let's go and watch Kim, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye. He's waving.